How many people have you actually killed?
Confirmed, I think I've taken about 18 human lives. Bang! Fucking shit's gone off everything. I'm looking fucking around, can't see shit. Fucking pain in my head, pain in my back. Look over, my driver's got no fucking head. And this guy texted me one day and said, hit me. I went, I'm not really into all that sort of shit. I went, I'll pay you. I just went, 150 quid. He went, yeah, no problems. He said, right, I'll be in the living room, do your thing, and then you can leave. I was in that house for 1 minute and 36 seconds, and I earned £150 for doing it. Explosive cuts through armour like a knife through fucking butter. Even if you've got armoured vehicles, that shit don't make a difference. I lost 2 guys. One got his head taken off from the jaw, and the other one lost his leg. The other guy we managed to save by pinching his vein off in his leg because he was going to bleed out. I've sat in all those countries and I've sat with fucking Taliban leaders and fucking terrorists and everything and had the same conversations I have with you now. The wife's fucking not listening. Kids are driving me mad. Can't pay the fucking bills. I used to shoot people in the face in other countries. You stick things up people's arses.
Welcome back to the Reality Check. My name is Josh Spooner. I'm a host on the Reality Check alongside Schwan. We are joined by a special guest upon return, as requested, Santos. Might needs to go back to the gym. And we are joined today with a special guest. Come absolutely dapper. Put us all to shame. I'm in an Alphalete tracksuit. He is Josh, ex-convict, ex-special forces, ex-bodyguard, and a current male dominatrix.
It's quite a mouthful. Thank you for having me, lads. Thank you very much.
Quite quiet for someone who's
Well, I'll get there. Trust me, I have to warm up, but I should definitely get there.
Stretch. Yeah, get the lactic acid.
Vocal calls and that. That's it.
100%. Schwan, lead the way, my friend.
Yeah, so where do we even start? I don't know. Maybe we start about your childhood. So
go for it.
Tell us, what was it like growing up? I mean, for you to get into all of that, something must have happened as a kid. So.
It certainly did. So it's a long, convoluted story, but I'll try and keep it to the points that I can, mate. So yeah, born in a town in Middle England, not a lot going on. Dad was a villain, bank robber, sort of low level, staying inside the back of trucks, you know, that sort of thing. Mum was a school teacher, or a school special needs teacher at the time, I believe she was. And yeah, it sort of progressed as in, I didn't sort of notice until later on. I'm sort of writing a book at the minute and all this sort of stuff coming back to me at a later date. But yeah, it started off that my mum was like a very much of a narcissistic person. She always sort of spent her money on herself, my dad's money on her, and then sort of followed down to raise the children. So again, she was a special needs teacher. She'd go to work every day with kids that swore at her, spat at her, threw chairs at her, and then come home to me. And as soon as I'd say anything, that was it. We used to call it the wind-up hand, because you used to wind it up, and then when he used to go, that was it. And I remember getting chucked into a room. Again, this all came back later on, and we'll talk about this later, about the book. But I remember a lock on the outside of my door. So what she used to do, chuck me in the room, so I locked the door, and then I used to scream like mad. Because no one knew this, but at the time I had ADHD. So for me, it was the room that was the problem. It wasn't the battering. I could take the battering. I didn't mind that. It was the room. You lock me in that room, that's my freedom gone. That's my space gone. Scream like a banshee. So much so people used to come across to the house and knock on the door and say, like, what's going on? So she used to come upstairs and go, the fuck are you doing? Shut up, basically. This is your mum. Anyway, that was back and forth, never really there. So because she couldn't deal with me, because I wasn't a naughty kid. I was just like, obviously ADHD, you couldn't sit still, all that sort of thing.
You were just a child.
Yeah, just being a child, as we know now what children are like, you know what I mean? So what she used to do was speak to my dad, and when my dad did come back home, all he used to do was beat me up, because obviously she'd be like, oh, I can't do this, he's doing that, he's doing this. So he come back and give me a good pacing as well, which already fucked my relationship with my dad. We have a better relationship now. So yeah, that sort of led into the whole sort of, now I know, understanding psychology a bit more, where ADHD and sort of dissociative disorder, which I now have, come from, because you're locked into a situation you don't want to get, or you want to get out of. So then you dissociate yourself from that thing, which led down later on in my life, down the career path, helped a lot, not in a good way. And as sort of we were all falling to bits as a family, my grandfather, who was, I can assure you, a very clever predator, looking back now through my life.
A predator, did you say?
Yeah,
In what sense?
In a sexual sense, but it started way before the sexual abuse. The actual predatory behaviour started before the sexual abuse happened. Mm-hmm. So we used to play a game called Secrets.
Right.
So we used to hide elastic bands and things like that. Like secrets, that only me and knew about. You see, already fucking paving the way in your head for secrets. So anyway, all falling to bits, and I was always in his care. And I remember him having a dark room, and he bought me a photo camera. It was an old like Pentax ones. You know, used to wind up, put the film in, all that sort of thing. I know but people don't know what I'm talking about in the podcast. There was a time when you put film in a camera, and he had a dark room that you developed stuff in his shed, and that was the first time that anything went on. And basically, just started sexually abusing me from that point on for about the next 2 years of my life until I got basically too big for him to do it.
How old were you there?
I think it's about eight, and I think I remember it sort of coming back again, all quite fuzzy because, you know, as people know, we go through massive amounts of trauma, you block a lot of stuff out. Yeah. And later on, it comes back to you at the strangest times. That all came back to me in a coffee shop, like writing a book. I didn't even know. I thought that all my trauma started with my granddad. I blame that man for everything. Started 4 years previous with my parents, really. So, that sort of then happened, and then it all sort of came out. My dad was off in jail at this time. And then it all sort of came out. And my mum, looking back now, I know what it was. She couldn't stand the shame. Now, whether that was because something happened to her and then it happened to me, I don't know. But basically her presence in my house became less and less. She found a new guy, hit the bottle fairly hard, and then sort of left me and my sister fend for themselves. So there was no fucking food in the fridge, boys. And when there's no food in the fridge, you got a choice, you know, starve or you fucking feed yourself. So I did. And I had a group of decent mates that were very fucking violent and very sort of the same as me. Like one of my mates, his mum used to do tricks upstairs while he was downstairs. Like fucking, I smoked my first bit of heroin with him because his mum was a fucking smackhead. All these sorts of things.
When did you smoke heroin?
Oh, I was on drugs from a young age because obviously when you go through things, the problem is I've always been quote unquote a smart kid. Just as we all know, people are smart. Things just don't come at the right time. When my granddad was doing what he was doing, it was the only time in my life I had out-of-body experience, and that includes taking human life and being in some of the worst situations of my life. The only time that ever happened was when my granddad was doing what he was doing, and I saw myself being abused. And from that moment on, I changed. You couldn't touch me. The only thing I ever wanted to do was violence for some reason. It just seemed like pain. It seemed like you could feel something. Do you know what I mean? That was what you became good at. And your friends who were just egging you on, because they were all violent fuckers as well. Do you know what I mean? That was it.
It's also a coping mechanism.
Absolutely.
Because if you're violent, you can't allow yourself to get hurt if you hurt them first.
Exactly. But not, like, I don't mind violence. And that's the thing. No. Like, I don't mind I'm probably the hardest guy in the fucking world. Like, I've had me kicked in more times. I've lost more fights than I've ever won. But the point was, it was to feel something. It was never to have the fight or be the victor. It was to feel something for me. That's like pain, obviously, as you know, like there's a certain meditation you get from having tattoos. Like, it's pain.
Don't know about that, mate. I hate pain. I wanted it done as soon as possible.
Well, for me, like, I had my back done, and I had it done in a week, and I had it done 8 hours a day for 7 days. And the girl was like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Absolutely."
Oh,
like,
you must have been really ill.
No, it's because, again, it's the only time you sort of, for me, feel stuff. And it's then when you feel something, you've got to put your head in a different place to cope with that. And I was always very good at that. I was always very good at the dissociative disorder side thing, because your body has to be somewhere. Your mind can be anywhere else. That is a good thing and a bad thing, because when you're doing bad things to people, you need to be a human being, and you're not. You remove yourself from that.
Wait, you never said, well, when did you take heroin for the first
sorry,
time?
this is what I mean. I got to frame me in. So, yeah, going back to that sort of time, experimenting with all sorts of drugs. I did, I think the first thing I ever did was acid. Someone gave me acid, and I didn't know how it worked. And I put it against my skin, and I was off my face. Do you know what I mean?
First drug you ever did was acid.
Acid, yeah.
That's heavy, mate.
At what age?
God, I couldn't have been more than 12, maybe.
12?
Yeah.
God.
Smoking weed at 12, like freaking...
Bueno, acid will change completely your neuronal path
I did
at
enough
12,
cocaine at 13 years old to fall through a glass table, for my lights to go out and fall off a thing through a glass table. The only thing that saved me was a gentleman that his house was a very big name in the place that I come from. And he took me to the hospital, and the doctor went to call the police. And the guy went, "You ain't calling anyone, mate." And he went, "Well, we've just found like a gram of cocaine in this 13-year-old lad's body. We need to notify someone." And he just went, "You just don't want to be here." That was it. Yeah. And he took me home. So, sorry.
Did you, what happened with your granddad?
He died.
Was that by accident or?
No. No, I was well away. I was in, I think I was in Afghanistan when he died. I can't really remember the date. And it was so nothing to me. Do you know what I mean? Like the fucked up thing about it is that man stopped me shooting someone. Hell.
Your granddad stopped you shooting someone?
I'm going to get to it in a second. Probably 10 years later. Okay. Like, not even interacting with a man. But because of what he did to me, 10 years later in a different country, in a different environment, I had a chance to have vengeance on someone. I've got to be very careful what I say here. And I didn't take it. And it was because of that man. Vengeance was taken. That man didn't survive, because I'll tell you the story in a bit and you'll understand why. But that's how powerful psychology is. You haven't gone through something when you're 8 years old, going through all that shit in the meantime, wars and fucking training and being an hard cunt and all this sort of thing, and still getting to this point, and that thing still affects you to that point. That's how powerful psychology is.
Yeah.
That thing touches you at that age and all the way down the line. And that's what people need to be remembered. Like, for me, I'm a single dad, as I've alluded to, and I raised 2 children. My boy's 18, and my girl was 16 almost. And I'll say this to anyone, because I'm a good dad. I've left millions of pounds on the table to come back to have my children and everything. I should be a millionaire, and I'm not, because I came back to have my children. Be a fucking parent, because if you don't, you create people like me.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And then we have to go around for the rest of our lives fucking trying to figure out who we are, because we've been told you're this person. You don't know this person because you're not being fed the right chemicals. Do you know what I mean? You've been someone else from the start.
And you went to jail at, how old were you?
I think we were just talking about this. I'm at 14 and I'm going to say a half, give or take. So my mate Curtis got put down for snapping someone's jaw a couple of months beforehand. Another, again, this is what the lads I sort of went around. That's all we did. We did drugs and fucking drink and have sex with girls and fucking beat people up. And it was just a fucking horrible, because there was no direction. There was no men there. And the men that were there were the ones that, they weren't bad people. I'm going to say this straight away. I hung around and I was raised by old villains, and they were fucking great guys. They had respect for everyone, right? Until you fucking crossed them.
That's what you call a real gangster.
There you go. And that's it. That's the suit. That's everything else. See, all the people I grew up around, I remember a gentleman that taught me, still to this day, more lessons than I've ever learned anywhere in the world. He's taught me how to be a better person, and he was a fucking villain than anyone else in my life. He only did bad things, but he also taught me how to treat a lady, how to be respectful, how to, not fucking, you got a beef, air it out. Talk about it before it becomes something. Otherwise it's going to become something and it all goes underground and you have to fucking do something else.
Like a cray.
Wait, and how old were you when you, so you were at 14 and a half, and how old were you when you got out?
I was actually released to the custody of the army. So it was, I think, one of the last cases to actually go through, because you have to do now like a 2-year, I think it's a 2-year rehabilitation period. But I think the judge, the way it went about was, it got adjourned. Then obviously I went to Crown Court, and I was looking at going into the army. And the gentleman that was recruiting me was a Coldstream guard. I won't go into his second name, but his name was Lee. Great guy. And for some reason, or not for some reason, now I know why, but saw a spark in me, might have saw himself in me or something like that, but really fucking tried, because he knew what I was going through at home and everything, not to the fucking points, but no one give a fuck, that's what I meant. He's obviously see that. So he managed to fucking harangue a fucking officer and turn up at my trial. And he turned around and said, look, this man will be a lot better off serving his country than he will be ever in jail. But I wasn't old enough then to go to where you are now, because it was 7 months. I don't know what it is now for the AFC.
I have no idea, no.
Yeah, but at that time it was 7 months. So basically they chucked me into jail until it was time to be released to the army. And then they basically gave me 2 weeks cognizance, and I sort of went to the military. So in that 2 weeks I got fucked up and then went to the military.
I've always thought that should be an avenue a lot of criminals should take. Obviously, depending on the crime, you can't put certain people.
Why did you go to jail?
Fucking hell. So, again, there was no food in the fridge. So when there's no food in the fridge, you feed yourself or you starve. So, again, I'm going to be very vague with dates and times about everything I say right now, because I don't want to get sued or shot. So that's where I'm going to say. So,
Neither do we.
But exactly. So, but if anyone wants to follow this, you can go back and find on the internet things that I'm saying. I'm sure you can piece it together if you've got a bit of a mind on you. They're all very easy to follow stories. So at the time, I had friends that were very big into car theft, in where I was. And so much so that one of the guys, when he got put away, car theft fell down 70%. Never did a driving fucking
70%.
lesson. 70%. Never did a driving lesson in his fucking life.
In your city? Or?
Yeah, in the whole city, right? This guy was a fucking lunatic.
He was the one doing everything.
Man, I've seen him coppers write cars off and him just drive off. This guy had a gift. You know, like people have just got gifts of doing shit.
Yeah.
Right? This guy had a gift. Never did a driving lesson in his fucking life. So took me under his wing I was always hanging around with older guys, criminals and stuff like that. You know, again, just bad lads. They was always into drugs or robs or, again, violence or whatever else. And, started to learn how to sort of drive. So then started to steal cars. And in the sense of that, it was like, well, what are you stealing for? Because it was just taking, even then, like you knew what was right and wrong. Do you know what I mean? If you're going to make money on it, then it was making money. Don't steal it for no reason. Do you know what I mean?
It's environmental based. It's all you know. It's what you're surrounded by.
It's not that. It's survival.
Yeah, it's your needs.
Look,
You have to do what you have to do.
I know there's a lot of people that will sit there and judge people on like the lifestyle I live and people that sit on this settee and everything else. I'll say this, look, throughout history as human beings from fucking day one, we've done a thing called survive. Now that can be any way, shape or form. You did it in fucking eating berries at once, and then you did it with shooting people and fucking with guns, and now you do it on OnlyFans and whatever else. People say that's a bad thing. Now I say that's evolution. People now see that they're making other people rich by fucking working 9 to 5s, 0-hour contracts. This fucking bullshit. People go on holiday 5 fucking times a year. I look after these twats that own all these big companies. They go on holiday every 5 fucking minutes. How many times do you go on holiday? Yeah. You get once if you look at it, and you save for that all year. Right?
That's if you're lucky.
So when people see it on my thing, because it comes back to I talk about slavery a lot. We're all slaves. I've been a slave to the fucking money, boys and girls. It's a new religion. It's a new God. It's everything we fucking pray to.
Agreed.
100%. And then that's it. And I've seen and I've done fucking bad things for it. Real bad things.
So obviously, you said it was about survival. And the reason I say it's environmentally based is because if there was an avenue for you to go down where you could make money in a safer way, where you didn't hurt people, why didn't you do it? Yeah,
but you see that you're talking again, I wasn't in any age to do any of that. Like, school wasn't making any sense. I was on my own as such. I had a sister who thought she was my mum. So we have got a relationship now. So
environmental.
Yeah, exactly. Into that sense, I do agree with you, And I think that's fucking most of the problem now, isn't it? Really, to be fair. It's kids raising kids, shit environments. And the thing is, I think if you give, I've seen this all around the fucking world. That's the thing. I know it works. Like, I was in Iraq, right, for years. And I was in there in the military, and I was in there as a bodyguard. And I worked for oil companies, and I worked for private clients, and all this other good shit. The one thing I noticed about Iraq was that as it sort of calmed down, like, they got massive into consumerism, right? So the companies started to make their way in there, like fucking Dodge and all this other car companies. So you had guys that were earning fucking $1,000 a month, and they were getting brand new fucking Dodges. You're like, you're never going to pay that off, lads. In your whole life, iPhones, $3,000 iPhones, because it's brand new over there. So they're getting charged 3 or 4 or 5 times what you're. And you could see what it did was it stopped people going to blow shit up, and then settled them down, because you don't go and blow shit up when you've got a house to pay for or a car to pay for. See what I'm saying? So that's the only time that capitalists...
debt is kind of a certain control then?
Of course.
It's completely that.
Of course it is, because when you give up everything, you're free to do everything. Anything, should I say. You can. If you suddenly lost, like anyone now, if you lost everyone in your life...
You have nothing to lose.
It's like, you take home my children, nothing anchors me to this world at all. And that's the thing.
And that's dangerous for sure.
Well, that's the thing is, it's not dangerous. It's dangerous if you fucking push someone far enough. Like, I never agreed with terrorism at all. I fucking spent my life trying to fucking stamp it out around the world, because terrorists, in my eyes, were cowards. The problem is, when you go back and look at the history books, one man terrorist, another man's freedom fighter.
I mean, we all are terrorists in some way. We have been in different places. Depends who is telling the story all the time.
The way I feel right now about this fucking country, I have more in common with the terrorists than I do my own countrymen, I can assure you. Because I see the oppression every day. I see people...
It's getting really bad.
It's fucking terrible.
No, it is. Do
you know why that is?
Yeah, of course I do. Because the thing is, your body and your mind and everything else is designed to know what is true and what is false, right? There's so many connections that go on with inside us we don't even know. Like pheromones, we see at different frequencies, hear at different frequencies. Yeah. That's life. You notice when you start doing psychedelics, it teaches you all this sort of thing. So with that, like, Why has everyone got fucking ADHD and all these things at the minute? I hate it. I hate having ADHD. I literally forget where I'm driving. It fucking drives me mad. But everyone's got it. Right? You'd go back and you show me someone, let's say in their 50s with full-blown autism or ADHD. No, can't use a toilet and that. Don't they? So what happened between that people and then where it all started to come on? We've all got the fucking out. Everyone's got ADHD now. So what's the implementation in that thing? Two things. That big thing there, the TV, and that thing.
Yeah, I was going to say social media and stuff.
Because your brain is not designed to sit and go through frame rates that change every 15 to 20 seconds on a TV, or you flicking every 15 to 20 seconds. It's not designed to do that. Your ear is taking billions of years to get where it is. Billions of years of evolution. You've done that in fucking 10. Your brain ain't designed to cope for that. Like, it's like even TV to a point. Your brain's not designed to watch somebody in Iceland and all of a sudden it changes to be in fucking Africa. Because if I'm talking to you, say I'm outside, my brain's taking in that whole environment, isn't it? If I still turn over here, I'm still looking at fucking woodland or whatever, not looking at desert, the Arctic. Your brain can't cope with that. So I believe that's what's happened. Because what did all our parents do? Chuck you in front of the fucking TV. They raised you, and that's what's happening now. Even to a more extent, I watched a fucking family walk into a restaurant the other day. I was eating a steak. Baby was like, I can hell.
iPad.
Well, iPad, iPhone, straight away.
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, boys and girls, we are animals. Monkey see, monkey do, right?
Yeah.
That's the problem half the time is monkey see, monkey do. That's why you've got lads running around at the minute stabbing the fucking life out of you because they think they were going to become this drug kingpin. You're not, lads. You're fucking not. You're going to go to jail and some bastard's going to earn money. Again, the people I used to work for, they sit in fucking Dubai while you run around the street, stab each other.
Right, yeah. So the reason why, like, the country is the way it is and the world the way it is I don't know if you might have some input in this with all your knowledge and what you've been through, is when you have certain people in charge that profit from the downfall of others, then the downfall is going to occur. When you have medical companies who are going to profit from there being an outbreak or something and they make millions, which is what happened recently. When there's armies that profit from wars happening, there's always going to be wars because those people will make money from it and so on. Do you have any input on that?
Russell
History.
Brand. That's
History.
where you get that from.
I did.
Look back at history. When has anyone that's been in power done any good for anyone that's underneath them? And that's corporations, that's like kings, queens, parliaments, whatever it is. The thing is, like I just said, the minute you attach a dollar value to anything, obviously dollar has been the trading currency around the world, you lose the purpose of that thing. And that's what we've done all over the world. Maggie Thatcher started that with Ronald Reagan. They privatised everything, they went into it, and they opened the floodgates for then corporations becoming bigger than, like, I think still now, and you have to fact check me if I'm wrong, but I think that Walmart has more money than Saudi Arabia on the books. That means a corporation that owns Asda has more money than a whole country, which is the biggest oil producing nation on earth.
Really?
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true, and it's real. It's many countries that actually have less money than Walmart.
GDP-wise.
Yeah.
Please do the fact check.
Yeah, you
And
can.
if I'm wrong, but I think the last time I checked, there was something like that. There is an Amazon. What's Amazon worth now? No, there's more than, definitely Amazon is worth more than countries. 100%.
There's billions and billions on Amazon. Yeah.
So when you start doing that, that's a corporation. What the fuck are we doing? Allowing these people to reach this thing where you can dictate policy? Because the minute who pays for these wars? Who pays for all this? Do you know what I mean? You do. You're the fucking people. Every man, that means woman as well, not being sexist, has their price. I don't care. If I fill this room full of fucking cash, you're going to do what I want you to do. Just simple as that.
Well, depends how
Do
bad.
it
Depends
and
how
test
bad.
us.
Because it's not about you, is it? Like even you could be like, well, I'm going to die. Who gives a shit?
True.
If you've got kids, it's about them. If you're a caring person, you give it to someone you know. Do you know what I mean? There's always that thing, isn't there? Sorry, was I right with that?
No.
Well,
Yes.
Walmart's revenue 2021 was 600 billion. Saudi Arabia's GDP in 2021 was 800 billion.
So not far off then.
Not far off. But
Maybe it's 200
UAE was 400 billion. So
That is
more,
less.
more than UAE.
Okay, so Walmart has
That's a
more
fucking company.
income than UAE.
Well, it's
Yeah.
revenue. So
Revenue, GDP. So
Mate,
GDP is
that's
obviously what you
crazy.
put out as a country every year. That's what you earn. So you're talking Asda
Yeah.
earns more than Dubai. All the places, all these people put on their fucking Instagram and that you go and see all these sports cars and everything else.
I don't get that.
I'm about to go flex guy in Asda, mate.
That's what you should do. Like, then you just go and rock it outside Asda. That's the one.
What do you?
All right, let's get into something juicy.
I was about to.
Oh,
Go.
You do it now.
No, I'll do it now.
Yeah, you do
I want to know the craziest story you have from jail.
Crazy story from jail. I can do. You asked me another question earlier, but I can fill them both in one. So when I was when I first got put down, obviously shit yourself. I don't give a fuck who you are. The thing that is, I'll always say with me, I don't ever moan about taking my comeuppance. If I've done something wrong, I'll fucking stand there and take it, boys and girls. And I will tell you this now because my kids don't have any other way. They don't come to me crying about this and that. Did you fuck it up? Yeah, then you stand there and fucked it up, and that's it.
That's how it should be.
Fucking right, mate. That's the problem with the world. There's no consequences. And
Yeah,
unfortunately, that's what I've sometimes been for a lot of people. But yeah, sorry, we got to the door slammed shut behind you and all that good shit, and then you're in your own little fucking world, and you're like, oh my God. And then people start shouting, because obviously you're a new guy and that, do you know what I mean, out the windows, like, come to your window.
Were you scared?
Fucking right. Jail. Like, you're as big and hard as you fucking want to be on the streets.
You were 14.
Different place, yeah. So different place when you're in there, do you know what I mean? Anyway, they call you from where you come from. So again, I won't say where I'm from, but they shouted this name, and I was like, come to your window. So I was like, all right. So I went to the window. They're like, sing something. I was like, well. Again. So my mate I was telling you about, he'd been put down. He said, they're going to try and fraggle you. Right? Now, fraggle obviously means that you're going to become the bitch of the block or whatever else.
Did you
Call
sing?
it fraggle. I don't do that shit. Like, again, you can live on your knees or you can live on your feet, or you can, it's entirely up to you as a person. I know where I sort of stand. And sing something. I was like, yeah, whatever. And I ignored them. And then somebody else shouted. And I remember someone telling me, suck your mum was a big insult.
Still is.
Yeah.
What is it, sorry?
Suck your mum.
Suck your mum.
Oh.
Suck your mum is a big insult. So anyway, I shouted, suck your mum. All right. Ooh. It's gone quiet.
They're like kids.
Yeah, that's it. Well, everyone is a fucking kid now. That's the thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, well, again, that's all you are. If you're fucking stupid, I'll tell you a story in a second, but he got put down for 3 years for nicking a fucking garden gnome. Anyway, fucking it went all quiet. And he was like, you what? Suck your mum. He's like, all right, tomorrow after education. So obviously in jail you have to do education. So I comes downstairs. In front of me is this fucking biggest lad I've ever fucking seen in my life. He's from Birmingham. And I think he was at that time getting starred up. So he was about to go into the adult prison system as a young offender because no one could fucking control him.
Well, like 16, 17?
I think he was older than that. I think he was about 18.
Which for a 14-year-old.
I think he's done. I think he was. I'm sure he was like there for murder at that age. Anyway, fucking basically, yeah, picked me up and just fucking headbutted me into these steel bins like I was fucking a ragdoll. And that was it really. After that, it was. I got back up, tried to put a good fight. Didn't really happen, and that was it. But I got.
How big was he?
Well, I was. I'm going to say nearly 6 foot at that age, and he was well big. He's probably about the same size as Tower then. I was just showing that picture. So
Tower is a guy showed me who he was in the military with, who was a wall. He was a 6'10" black guy.
Fucking giant.
Whose legs were like twice the size.
My brother, shout out, brother.
Mine.
Basically, if he tells you to do something, you do it
you're
without
doing
cash.
it, mate.
Okay, it's fine.
Me and that fucking crazy bastard, we didn't used to fight anyone else. We used to fight each other. Like when we was in Germany, we've had some great nights on the piss where we just went teed off on each other because we had nothing else to do. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I put that. It was all in one. After that, it wasn't really that bad because in the day I was always a handy kid, you know. I was always able to fight and look after yourself. And it's not like everyone's, you don't get fucking raped and that and all that good shit.
It's not like in all that good shit.
American jails you do apparently. Like I've got loads of mates who've done time in Yank jails and they said that goes on all the time. But like in England, only if you really want it.
Do you find that if you do act like a bitch in prison, then you will carry on being treated like it? But if you take it and fight back, they're more likely to leave you alone.
I think it's basic dog psychology in any life.
Yeah.
Like,
in which way?
Well, dog psychology is dog psychology, isn't it? It's basic psychology. Like if you stand your fucking ground, it's like a bear, right? So a bear charges you. You got 2 choices: you run off or you stand your ground. Now,
yeah,
either one of them 2 could lead to fucking death. I can show you.
I mean, the bear can just go to you and whatever what breaks your attitude, the bear can drip you off. So
how many times have you seen when someone's gone, fuck off, bear, and the bear's run off?
Not many.
If you run away, I'm telling you now, you're dead. 100%.
They will, yeah.
But if you stand your ground, it's like with people.
They
Like,
have a chance.
You've got to be ready. Like,
If you're a defenseless person in the street, say an old woman, and there's a low-life criminal looking to make money, then there's someone like a big dude, tattoos, looks scary, he's on the other side of the street. It's obvious which one the criminal's going to go to.
of course.
And it's the same.
But again, that big tattooed up guy on the other side of the street then should step over the fucking road and do something, because that's the fucking problem at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah, but in
Yeah,
you're
Got
between
a
many
lot of guys in
aggressive
the
people.
fucking gym at the minute, giving it the fucking big ooh-ah with the fucking tattoos and the fucking beards and the SF look. Then do something about it, boys. You want to sit there fucking thinking you're men, then do something about the fucker. Like, end of the day, I don't care. I will always stand my ground. You can look back at the things I've done and everything else. I'll go to any fucking country right now, anywhere in the world. I'm not scared of fuck anything. I don't care about
even
death.
if you have not
all that
odds.
good stuff. If you want to project that fucking same fucking thing, then earn the cunt. Earn it. Because I've earned mine. You need to earn yours. You don't
Do
get to
you
walk
ever get in
around.
fights now?
No, I fucking hate violence. I'm trying to raise 2 children. That said, I have fucking slips. So, unfortunately, it's not the greatest fucking thing of me. I'm very heightened in a car for obvious reasons. I lost my life in a car, and the second time I broke my back in a car. And every sort of bad thing that's ever gone on me has gone on the car. So I've lost 2 drivers instantly. One got his head blew off, and the other one I didn't know died until I woke up. In cars. So and then a year ago I had a fucking car accident because some fucking wannabe hard cunt again decided to fucking write my fucking car off, rip my car off the road, drive my car off the road. So I was, short story, I coming back from picking my little girl's boyfriend up, and this twat fucking hit my car on purpose and then spun me off the road. I tell you right there and then that I thought that man was going to die that day. In fact, I was quite fucking positive he was going to die that day because everything in me wanted to kill him. And I knew what I was doing. I was trying to calm myself down before the police arrived or go and do something about it. Anyway, I walked up to this guy's car. I looked at my little girl's thumbs that had been broken and the nails ripped out. And it's a long story, but I'd done a mushroom trip 4 weeks earlier and sort of manifested this whole thing. Another long story. But as I got to this guy's car, I was going to fucking cave his head in. And instead of doing that, a fucking voice in my head screamed at me, "You kid, you twat." And as I did, I went down. So I was at the same level as him, and he's crying. Just crying in his car. And I just said to him, "Where's the fucking big man?" I said, "Where was the big man? Give me the wanker signs and all that good shit out the fucking window a minute ago. Where was the big man that's nearly killed my kids?" And his eyes went dead white. I went, "You didn't know there was in the car, did you?" So I teach that, mate. I said, "It's what you've done now. Your adrenaline levels have risen. You fucking know." So the point I'm making there is I've done that 3 times now. So the fights, no, I don't. But each time my children have been in the car. So my level of fucking awareness, protection is at fucking full tilt.
Yeah.
Same way as I'm a bodyguard. If I'm in a fucking car, I've got a weapon in my lap. My fucking priority is the people behind me. So as soon as I hear clack, clack, clack or bang, I'm out that vehicle and I'm fucking doing what I need to do. So that's the same thing, you see. Unfortunately, I can't turn that fucker off. And I feel so sorry. All the gentlemen that I fucking grabbed by the throat and all that, I apologise to you now. It was fucking just the wrong time and the wrong day and the wrong person, I'm afraid. And it'll probably get me in trouble one day. Like some guys will probably get out and fucking stab me in the throat. At the end of the day, that's my choice to make, innit? Do you know what I mean? That's just one of the things. Don't do that, people. Don't fuck around in your cars because there's people that will get out. Do you know what I mean? You're going to be a telephone tough guy or a car tough guy, fine. But understand this, people are going to get out and make you pay the fucking price for that.
Yeah, and I think people don't understand how violence rule the world. Regardless, you wouldn't want to see it. If you outsource violence with the police, like you want someone to do something, you say, "I'm not a violent person," but you go to the police would violently take you away.
But you celebrate violence every day.
We always do, yeah.
Every day.
But we shame it in other ways as well.
Well, the thing that makes me laugh, like with this thing, like if I tell people I'm a dominatrix, right?
Yeah.
They look at me with a bit of stain, bit of a moral fucking eyebrow. Well, I was marching through cities not long back and you applauded me for fucking shooting people.
Yeah.
Yeah, sex is viewed quite negatively by our generation.
Yeah, because it's a freedom thing, mate.
So let's discuss that. You said that you almost, you died and you broke your back. So this was when you were in the Special Forces.
No, this was when I was doing CP. So I'd left this by this time. So
when you're doing what?
Close protection.
Close protection, sorry.
protection.
So yeah, basically.
I no. No.
Yeah, so basically started off doing convoys. So that was basically taking. So at the time, occupation in Iraq was full tilt. I think there was 30 American bases, give or take, all up route Tampa, which was the main MSR, so main supply route from Qazar port, southern Iraq to Kirkuk or Sulaymaniyah on the...
Sulaymaniyah.
Yeah, sorry.
That's where I'm from.
Oh, is that right? Yeah. Spent a bit of time in some of there. So yeah, I worked at Kirkuk a lot. So yeah. I was so I was based up there for a long time, looking after the Department of State, American Department of State. But anyway, going back to the...
He's
so happy.
So proud.
He's so happy.
I had a great friend who was a school teacher there. Bless him. I never know what happened to him, but it fucking got me out of so many scrapes. Anyway, but yeah, started off doing that. And basically what it was resupplying the main bases, because the army's so busy and stretched so thin that then they outsource. It wasn't the case at all. They just want to make more money out and give it to other people. Again, we can go into that long, convoluted story. So they give it to private security companies to then do this. Other than that as well, it's non-accountability. You'll notice, gents, as well, in this country, we do things like that. We hire things outside of government range. So you don't have security that actually works for the government. They hire a third party.
Yeah, so they're not held accountable.
Yeah, that's it. So these convoys were like fucking 10 miles long, and they used to move at 80 kilometres an hour. So these fuckers used to send everything they got at you. Like, then you had, at this time as well, there was no real sort of CP trucks, no armoured trucks. So you were making your own trucks a lot of the time. There's a great documentary out there called, it'll come to me. But it's all about how a CP started off. And, it was all Blackwater and stuff like that. These like private military companies. Well, the private military company thing, Blackwater was the only time in history where a private military company has actually got the American army out of shit. They helicoptered in because they got pinned down and they took over and actually won the firefight. Yeah, it's happened a few times in history, but another again, long story. So started off doing that and fucking deadly, like literally, because you were traveling that slow. IEDs were a thing. So IEDs, an improvised explosive device, and they come in all forms. So they come forms in like 5 shells, so the big shells you see them putting the big guns, and they pull the thing. So they sit about this big and they bury them into the side of the road, and then they'll sit there usually with a mobile phone, or we can click art and boom, away it goes. Very sort of unadvanced when it first started off. These fuckers got very advanced, like stupidly advanced, putting glass in devices so you couldn't detect them with metal detectors, PIR, the sensors, the things you see in the corners with your alarm, PIR sensors, so nothing set them off until you went through them and then fucking blow you up.
It's
a movie about it, the Hurt Locker. I don't know if you watch it. Yeah, Hurt Locker. Yeah, exactly about that.
Well, there's a thing called EFP, so improvised explosively formed projectile. Sorry, there's a lot of acronyms flying around there. So basically, if you can imagine like a big bean can, right? Take a big bean can, but it's not a bean can. It's obviously made of steel, and then you weld one end with a steel plate, and then you chuck explosive into the other end, and then you weld copper onto the other end. And you put 2 wires into it and you attach it to a battery pack. You've now got a fucking horrible explosive. Not only that explosive cuts through armour like a knife through fucking butter.
Really?
So even if you've got armoured vehicles, that shit don't make a difference. I lost 2 guys. One got his head taken off from the jaw and the other one lost his leg. The other guy we managed to save by pinching his vein off in his leg because he was going to bleed out. And at the same time, I was getting hit by fucking RPGs and rocket and fucking machine gun fire on Carmally Bridge.
Have you been shot many times?
No, I've been shot at. I've never been shot.
You have never been shot?
No.
You have never had a bullet inside your body?
I've got shot on the top left-hand side of me because, again, my life is happenstance, and we can talk about this a lot. You have to believe, gentlemen, sometimes why you're here. So one of the things when I was doing convoys was, because you move so slowly up and down the convoy, you have a vehicle that goes up and down, backwards and forwards as a sort of entry vehicle because it connects the comms. Because when you work on obviously radio, you've only got a certain amount of distance, especially if it's cheap radio.
Range,
This is back in the day when we first started. So in the footwell of the vehicle, your radio is down here, right? So me and my guy flying up the road, going to the front of the convoy, right? So we get to the front of the convoy, probably about 200 meters in front of the convoy, lose comms. So I go down to change the channel. Bang! Fucking shit's gone off, everything. I'm looking fucking around, can't see shit. Fucking pain in my head, pain in my back. Look over, my driver's got no fucking head.
Literally like that. Like literally you see a human next to you without head.
Like bits of his fucking skull left, and then that's it. Teeth and fucking blood and shit everywhere, smoke everywhere. Wow. So I've had to jump. I've got a guy who's in a fucking vehicle with a massive head injury. His foot's on the accelerator.
Yeah.
So I'm like fucking careering. I can't see shit. I don't know what the fuck is going on because I can't see in the windscreen or anything else like that. If I didn't bend down to change that fucking radio, that'd have been my head.
Fucking hell.
So that was...
There is about 15 of those stories I can tell you where I fucking walked away from death seconds before something happened. Walked out of a building before a mortal come into the fucker. All sorts. So sometimes every now and again, you have to believe purposes why you're here. Because I should be dead a lot of times over. Not just as that, as a kid, fucking throwing drugs down me and fucking doing the stupid things I was doing as a kid. My purpose right now, in my eyes, is to raise my children. That's what I'm here to do.
That's a very interesting point where you say that, okay, you, regarding war and all the trying to stop terrorism in the world that we were doing, do you think that that was your mission and that's why you were, I was staying alive because you were trying to make the world better? And do you think you actually achieved something on that or was pointless?
No, the whole fucking thing's pointless. Like war. The only fucking war that was ever justified, and it really then you can go into the convoluted way why it wasn't really justified, and it was all about money, as all wars are, was World War II. Really. But again, you have to look at that and all the history facts and everything else and dissect it and really think that that was there to make money as well. But, you know, for men like me, not the government, for men like me, there is something inside us. We're very dark fucking people, and there's tons of us walking around the earth, you know. People choose to pick up knives and sell drugs. I chose to do what I did and go that way. But we're all built with the same fucking thing. If you put any man in that direction and everything else, you'll see the good in them. You put them with some brothers, they'll die for them.
Yeah.
100%. That's what links us all together. The thing that makes me laugh about fucking human beings is that we've been taken away from the tribal dynamic, haven't we? You know, we used to live in tribes where you had everyone raising a kid. So you didn't have your dad talking shit. You had your granddad, your Uncle Bob and everything else. So you had 6 men raising a child. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Talking shit.
You have a nucleus family.
And now you've got no one. Not even dad. But I guarantee you take them boys that are now running around fucking stabbing them and you put them in the army. Probably not the army. That's the wrong fucking sense, because who wants to go and die for something that you fucking don't believe in, and rightly so at the minute. You take them and put them in any sort of fucking thing like, I don't know, a bit of football team, whatever. Give them some direction. Show them that it's not just about them or getting forward, and make them fucking get rewarded for that as well. You'll change every one of them fucking boys. We're all the same. We've all come from those places.
Yeah.
It's massively environmental based.
Fucking, but they keep you there. They fucking keep you there. That's the point. Like, that's the same thing in whatever country you go to. I've never been to a country. I've been to 126 countries now. I've lived and worked on 5 continents. And never in my fucking life has someone walked up to me and gone, government's really good. We're getting everything we want. Everything. I've just watched. The reason my fucking job existed was because governments fucking fail.
Yeah.
I've sat in all those countries and I've sat with fucking Taliban leaders and fucking terrorists and everything, and had the same conversations that I have with you now. The wife's fucking not listening. Kids are driving me mad. Can't pay the fucking bills. That's all over the world. There is far more you now that you fucking knights is, especially now, than pulls us apart. The only thing that pulls us apart is people that we don't have anything in common with us, that sit somewhere, that don't have any fucking idea of what we live in.
Yeah.
That make decisions on our behalf that we all know are fucking shit.
Yeah.
I can tell you now, we could all walk around now, right? Everyone in this street, go up and down and go, do you think the government's fucking with you? Everyone is going to fucking say yes.
Yeah.
So why does no one do anything about it? This is what breaks
That's
my
a very
heart.
good question, you know?
It breaks my fucking heart. I've
What
lost.
what can we do? That's the real question. What can we do?
20 fucking million of y'all?
Yeah, but the problem is who
Well,
will
I
have
come-
the leadership
I come-
to lead that people?
I come from a place where fucking 4 strong fucking good men can take out fucking 300.
Yeah.
Where 4 good strong fucking well-trained men can go in and fuck a country up, if you know what you're doing. So 30 fucking million of y'all can walk down to Parliament and go, do me a favour, fuck off. Because at the minute, we don't agree with anything you're doing. You're not stopping crime. You're not fucking stopping people getting fucking raped and stabbed and everything else. You're not everything you're doing now is putting money in your fucking pockets, boys and girls.
But it's very complicated to achieve. If you see it even with the United States on all these like
It's
occupation
not
of the
what
parliament,
keeps
like,
you
that
a
didn't-
slave is fear. We fired 1 million rounds in Afghanistan.
Yes.
Right? 1 million rounds. And we got fucking dragged over the coals like you wouldn't believe for firing 1 million rounds. This is a fucking war zone. Well, just do the math, right? So we did 1 million rounds. There's 30 million working people in this, working age people in this fucking country. Well, that's 29 left. But you got to be willing to lose 1 million. If you lose 1 million, you're going to get something out of it, which is something for your fucking kids, which is something you never had in the history of this country, a fucking free country. You've never had a free country. You've got the illusion of freedom.
So what do you think we should be done?
What's
Like what is the step you will do? Like,
Are you telling me with all the fucking things we're doing right now, with all the things we're inventing, with all the fucking stuff, all the clever people on this earth, we can't come up with a better system than one is right now?
I think we can. I think the issue,
because again, what you scared of?
I think the issue is that we are so dominated by media and by everything like scrolling and stuff. Like you keep people distracting. You don't put them together. Like divide and conquer. That's it. The government do that.
But
like,
we all know that.
And they bring these issues like gender or inequality or other stuff used to distract people. When the real fight is between them and
again,
this down here.
You know that. So if you know that, there's millions of people that know that. So then why don't we stand and do something? Sorry.
I feel like it's just strictly comes down to who's in charge and what will they profit from, and they profit from the downfall of others. But
it comes down to
people in charge.
it's just down to you've got to die for your fucking cause.
Yeah.
Like, understand that. I went to another country to die for people I didn't fucking know. And I was more than willing to do that.
And for kill people that you don't
29
know.
of my friends fucking did. That's people who've got families and everything else. For people they didn't know. They didn't go over there to fucking hurt people. This is what makes me laugh with the people, go out to get the gun off. Fuck off. Like people that go over to fucking countries like that to fucking, they're either lost and want to prove something to themselves, or they've had no family themselves, so they want to belong to something. And if that thing means going across to somewhere and then you get fed a fucking line of bullshit, 100%, you're doing this for, you don't fight for your queen and country, you fucking fight for the guy next to you so he can go and see his fucking family. That's it. But that's all of us, isn't it? You have to be a fucking uniform to get that.
Nope.
I call everyone brother. Now, some guy said to me, where was I? Cyprus. I was doing a security job there, and he went, "Why do you call me brother?" I went, "Do you breathe fucking air?" And he went, "Yeah." I said, "Do you bleed?" And he went, "Yeah." Then you're my fucking brother, mate. I've been all over the world, mate. I've called brother. I've fucking shot and killed every race and kill creed colour, and I've been shot at by every fucking race and creed. You're all the same on the inside.
Have you ever regret killing someone?
No, because it needed to be done. No, I'll stop myself there. And I might get a little bit emotional on this one. Yes, I do. Not towards the latter stages of my career, because those were bad people and they fucking, trust me, the world's a better place without them people. What I do regret is the poor fuckers that were then given, $200-300, which is a fucking 3 years fucking earnings for people in Iraq and everything else. Bear in mind, you live on $1 a day out there. 50p.
Yeah.
Not my dad.
No, man, but it's a lot of inequality.
Loving that. But what they used to do, Jay Sharma there, fucking Al Qaeda, fucking go for it. Fucking IRA. You should go take people that were poor, and people do it now, like gangsters. They pay crackheads that have got fucking want crack. It's the same thing. Yeah, here's all this money, go and shoot at them people over there, or that call sign over there that's coming over there. The problem is that man looks at the money like we all do and go, I can get my kids this, I can get my kids that, I can get my kids. Doesn't think about the fucking fact that he's going to stand on a hill in a minute and he's going to have fucking 10 fucking well-aimed rifles at his head. He's going to go brrr, and he's going to get one straight back through the fucking melon.
Yeah.
And that's him done. I've removed fathers from families.
How do you deal with that?
Fucking mate. Being a father, that's the hardest fucking thing. People will tell you, the people that know me, that I'm so hard on myself. And rightly fucking so sometimes. Because you always have a choice in this life. Not a choice you like, it's a choice you fucking got. You can, like I say, you can fucking die on your knees or fucking your feet. It's entirely up to you. I've always chose my fucking feet. But I tried to look at it like this. If you're a race car driver, it's whoever's better on the day, right? If you're a jockey, it's whoever's better on the day. How skilled you are, your skills, that sort of thing. So I tried to look at it like that. It was just my job and I was better on the day. No, I may not have been. Clearly I've been caught out a fucking couple of times, and that's a card you've got to punch and be willing to accept. If you're willing to play that game and throw your fucking dice in, hey, you got to pay the fucking consequences. That's the way it works. You got to be willing to relieve your family and your fucking kids and everyone else if that guy's better on the day. And they are. I've had to fucking say goodbye to a lot of fucking friends on the side of roads and no legs and no arms and shit.
How many people have you actually killed?
Confirmed, I think I've taken about 18 human lives, give and take. Unconfirmed, I couldn't tell you, for the simple fact is I used to be heavy weapons, so I used to call in artillery and fucking gunships and stuff like that, so.
Could be
around
estimated.
Well, I couldn't even estimate. Like I fired, put it this way, I fired from 6 o'clock in the morning once until 6 o'clock at night, non-stop, 3 barrels pumping out fucking 40 rounds, 50 rounds of fucking every half hour. So, a lot. Flattened compounds with 500 pounders, 1,000 pounders. Yeah, and not something, again, I'm fucking gratefully proud of. The point is, we all talk about the gentlemanly conduct of war and all that good shit, and yeah, it's for the birds, boys and girls. I'm afraid there is no rules in war. It's fucking men being what men are, fucking savages. I'm the first to admit that. There's an old saying, like, be careful when you stare into the abyss because the abyss stares back. You know, be careful what you chase because you become the thing you chase. And I can tell you now, people say to me, I feel sorry for you that you have to go and spend time in that. I said, don't fucking feel sorry for me.
What's the scariest thing that's happened to you whilst being in the army? Or special forces or...
I got about to be overrun in a house, and luckily we got saved, but my friend turned around and said, look, don't worry, lads. I'll just kill you and then kill myself. So there was 4 of us, plus him, 5 in total. And fuck knows what was coming over the border.
So you were in a house?
Yeah, on the side of a fucking border crossing. Again, I can't be fucking...
Where was this?
Afghanistan. I can't be, again, 2 times in details. But yeah, we've basically gone into recce more than anything else. And then someone got wind we were there and it all went fucking tits up. And basically we ended up fucking burying fucking weaponry and all sorts to get out. But
wait, so I'm so confused. So
right, so when you do my job, you operate with short crews, small men, right? So what your key task is reconnaissance. So you're not designed to get into a fight. You're designed to get in there, take photos, acquisition enemy targets, plant explosives, fuck up stuff if you need to, whatever else, and then get the fuck out. It's only 4, 6, 10, 12 of you. So when you dropped into these places, obviously you're there to do certain jobs. So you only go in there with a 4-man team, 6-man team for said job. So when you go in with a 4-man team and you're only supposed to do in recce's, and then like 80 fucking 90 guys find out you're there, they're going to come for you, whether you like it or fucking not. And if you ain't got QF on standby and if you ain't got fast air up and everything else, ain't a fucking good day at the range, boys, I can assure you. Like, it's where you fucking start testing your fucking metal as a person. You know,
so they these 80 people found out that you were there.
Yeah.
And they were going to come to...
They were coming. They basically got down to our last ammo box before we fucking bugged out.
They came, what?
So when you fire weapons, obviously you have ammo, right? And it comes in boxes, which is, I think, 690 rounds in a Radway green container, if I remember rightly. We were down to our last ammo box. If they would have kept coming, we'd have been fucked. Only because they broke and we managed to get out, we got out there.
So you were shooting at them?
Yeah, fucking constantly.
Oh my God.
Constantly.
And are these the type of people that are there just to kill you, or are they there to get information out of you?
Problem is, you're not going to give up anything anyway. You'd rather just die. But, I mean, no man's a fucking island. I don't care how good you are or how fucking solid you think you are. If they do something to you that's painful enough, you're going to fucking say something. You can always make someone kill you. Just piss them off enough. You'd rather get shot straight away.
I'd much rather get shot.
Yeah,
Someone could just, I don't know, slowly chop your willy in half.
Yeah.
First thing you think of.
What?
Well, the thing for me is,
If someone was said, I'm going to chop your willy in half,
Oh, no.
mate, I would say whatever you want me to say. Imagine not having a willy.
No, I don't know. I cannot imagine that, mate.
That's why you're not in the army, mate.
no, but you say
That must be the worst one.
No,
I
it's
don't know,
definitely
there's
not.
Loads of ways you can
You
die.
can live. You can live without a penis, mate.
Yeah. There's
So obviously, how did you transition from that to a bodyguard?
very easily, because that's what you're used to doing. You're still running around in vehicles with heavy weapons and fucking body armor and stuff like that. So it's easy to do. I mean, I got sort of left the tour and then got offered a lot of money to go and do the next bit. So it was easy enough to go and do the next bit. It's only money in a day, isn't it? So it's an easy transition. If someone's offering you 3 or 4 times what you're earning in the army to go and do the same fucking job you were doing, it's a no-brainer. For instance, when Maritime kicked off, so obviously CP kicked off and then the obviously water version kicked off because obviously had the pirates, the Somali pirates, all that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. So literally, I think it was half the fucking British Marines signed off pretty much overnight to go and do the protection for it, because it was like $300 a fucking day.
Oh, that's good.
Well, it's better than fucking what you're getting paid in the army. You know,
yeah.
Like I lost the first 2 guys I lost. They died for £1,200 a fucking month.
How many years ago?
First tour was 2004. So yeah, 2000.
Yeah, still not too much. Yeah.
Right. So who was the typical clientele that you had as a bodyguard?
Right, so there's two types of bodyguarding that you do, or CP as we call it. You either do hostile environment, which is war zones, so Afghanistan, Iraq, Venezuela, Africa, Ukraine's coming up now a lot. I get a lot of things coming across for Ukraine and bits and bobs like that. Or you do corporate, so which is bag carrying for rich people usually. So a lot of work in London, but it's all sort of like, usually a lot of it is not death threats. Well, some of it is, but it's a lot of like bag carrying. I've got a bodyguard status type shit.
So do you think doesn't exist this kind of movie-like haste that they're looking towards these corporate big bank dropping people that you needed to face off? These movies, they come like, oh yeah, I have Jeff Bezos and they're going to intercept his bank car. So you have never seen that?
No, not nothing like, I mean, most like in the corporate world is usually boring bullshit. I mean, you do get the occasional jobs which are pretty good. I got to go to Monaco, all expenses paid, because some guy was selling software that he shouldn't have been selling, and his wife actually grassed him up. And off I went to go and sit around Monaco and follow him around. Great jobs, stuff like that, do you know what I mean? But usually for corporate stuff, it's just like, I looked after a well-known footballer and his wife for a while. He was lovely and she was a complete, yeah.
Usually the way.
Yeah, I've looked after individuals that work for corporations. Have had private security in themselves. Do you know what I mean? So like US Steel, we looked after president of that for a while. Qatar royal family, I've looked after different bits and bobs. So that's your corporate side of things that we look at it. If you're armed, it's more hostile environment, but it sort of bleeds into corporate sometimes. It depends on where you are in the world and if you're licensed to carry and stuff like that. And then you've got your hostile environment, which is, your sort of things. So oil companies are usually your hostile environment stuff, mining companies, horrible corporations.
Mining?
Yeah, so I did a lot of mining out in Africa, which would lead you out into like the fucking depths of nowhere. I've got loads of photos I can show you later on. But yeah, literally in the jungles of places. And beautiful. Like, I love spending time in the jungle and that, it's great. And literally on your own. So if you get fucking caught out, you're fucking caught out.
So have you ever had to shoot anyone in those environments?
Close protection? No, I think I've been involved in a couple of contacts. I haven't shot anyone as a thing. I've been involved with a couple of contacts. I've been blown up in close protection. I don't think I've shot anyone. Definitely shot at people, but not shot anyone.
So you think it's more safe, it's more like chill thing.
No.
So it's just like your background world telling you that you are good for this and you're prepared for this, but you don't need to use your skills in that way.
I'm not going, I'll go into some sort of detail, and again, people can follow this. So I looked after a couple that were heirs to billions, like stupid amounts of money. Me and a guy were there to look after the children because they were fucking smackheads and all upstairs all the time, smacked out their fucking box.
How old?
The kids?
Yeah.
At the time, I think they were 4 and 6.
Oh, super young. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, we would just take them to the park and then take them.
Wait. So these 4 to 6 year olds were smackheads?
No. Sorry, their parents were smackheads. Their parents were.
Oh man.
Yeah, we're on the same level.
Sorry, no.
You know, rich people, man.
Straight away. No, the parents of those people were heirs to. It's the biggest company you've never heard of, and I won't go into it again because I'm going to get sued.
Yeah.
So. They were both smackheads, and again, it's in the papers. You can go and find it for yourself. And she ended up dying, and being left in bed for a month by her husband.
For a month, just decomposing like that.
Yeah. I didn't know any of that because I would fucked off to Iraq by this time. The guy saw me after that. I met him in a cookhouse in Iraq. And he told me the fucking story.
I mean, where do you get this contract? It's not like you have a LinkedIn or private security or stuff.
Oh, it's an old boys network. You do have LinkedIn and stuff like that. But if you know people, like the CP circuit is not huge.
It's not huge. Huge in which sense? Like how many people, like in numbers, like you? How many people you think exists in the world?
It probably exists in the world.
In the world,
oh, Christ,
for you.
In the world now it's massive compared to what it used to be. When I was doing it,
tell me a number.
I couldn't even. When I was doing it, I think it was estimated to have about 80,000 close protection personnel
in your level.
And that was, I think, England alone, or that would have been England and the US. But 80,000. No, that was England and the US. 80,000 was the number of troops that England had at the time. That's why I remember it, because it was the same amount of. Because I was like, well, we're just fighting your war, because we've got 80,000 CP guys out there, and there's 80,000 English and American troops basically there, or English troops. We're literally fighting England's war. Do you see what I'm saying with the math? Yeah. So but now I think it's fucking huge because everyone wants the bodyguard. You've seen the way it saved the fucking world. And
but do you think that now is like decrease the quality of those bodyguards? Like now that if you say everyone is a bodyguard, like it's like everyone who is big can do it?
Well, no, because I mean, you have to do certain things to get accepted to be a bodyguard. You have to a hostile environment course.
You have a union of bodyguards?
No,
or
you have
something?
to. You have to do at least two tours and serve 7 years in the army. That's minimum.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's for the serious.
But who registered that? Who tell you? Oh, yeah, you can. You 7 years and do tours. You're good.
So
like what?
basically, and I was.
What if you're like a gangster for a small country and then you're good with weapons?
No, but if you're working for an English company or say for BP or any of these big companies, you're vetted. So we have the first thing in here, which is a load of bollocks, by the way. It got bought in. It was supposed to get taken out. Just another reason to take money off people. But you have the SIA license. So the SIA license
so easy.
was bought in for one specific reason. I can tell you the story if you want, why it was actually bought in.
Do you think the military is a training ground just for private security?
Yeah, of course it is.
Use that.
Well, that's it. That's what it is really when you think about it.
Tell me about this qualification.
Sorry, yeah. So the SIA was bought in because a gentleman, again, won't mention any names, who's now serving, I think, double life in Iraq, was hired by a security company and they didn't check his details properly, who he was. And in fact, it was an absolute nightmare. He'd been in the industry a while and people had said, do not rehire this guy. Obviously, but bear in mind, this was 2010-ish. So you're talking a while ago when the industry wasn't as strong as it was and everything else, and all these regulations weren't there. And loads of shit went on, like really bad shit. And I can understand why they tried to bring things in. But this guy turned up on I think the Sunday, he flew into country, and by the Monday morning, he'd shot 2 guys, killed 2 guys, went around the camp, shot an Iraqi guy, and then got cornered by the US Army with a 50 cal and said, if you fucking move, I'll just tear you in half. Yeah. But he's an English guy. And basically what happened is that no one had saw the warning signs. He'd then been on the fucking coke all weekend and then gone, do you want to come to earn this amount of money? And he's like, yeah, fucking no problems. And back in the day, you had all your weapons. You didn't put them in armories. You kept them with you as part of the base defense program because you usually lived in a house on your own, only with like 10 guys. So you had to be armed because you get fucking overrun. So everyone's sitting around with weapons and drinking. And then basically this guy was, I won't say what regiment, but he was a regiment. He came in and they've got always a running banter with another arm of the armed forces. These 2 guys were that. The army banter started, which is always fucking terrible, fucking ragging this, ragging that. I love it and I miss it so much. But yeah, it ensued. And then he went back to his room, picked his 9mm, walked back and shot them both at the table.
So how do you...
So as a direct result, as butterfly wings, that echoed all the way back over here and they brought in the SIA in. And they turned around and said when it was first brought in, when it's strong enough to police itself, we'll take it away. It didn't do that. And it's shite. It's fucking shite.
So, because anyone can get it.
It's shite.
It's literally
that just means every couple of years, every couple of years, it's a system. All it is a system. Like, you look at through England, all it is another system on top of another system to make you pay money.
Do you think it's not a system to reintegrate people who has through your experiences, because it happens a lot in the United States, like all veterans, like they have many homeless veterans because they cannot reintegrate into society.
Yeah, of course.
So do you think that happens to you? Like, do you think the government and the military didn't care about you after?
Give a shit.
And they just throw you back, like, now you're a civilian, do whatever they can.
I can prove that. So when I first got back here, taking care of my children, I was again always wanted to, always that thing in me, I don't know, to help people. Whether I do that through talking and making people understand or, fucking whatever. But I got back, I see a lot of people sitting on the side of the streets with Reggie signs, Reggie numbers, like homeless and that. And I was doing a bit of security work at the time. And what sort of threw me was, it was in Sheffield, and it was a store there that I was working for, and I come out and I was talking to this woman, and she was a sergeant major. And I was like, fucking hell, it's not just men that go through it, like, and she was on the streets, and I was like, fuck. So I decided to fucking set up a charity, and what the idea behind the charity was to get guys and girls back together in the setting, so around other squads and other like military personnel, and then back into an environment that you're used to. So basically, it was all based around sort of gardening, because gardening's shown to obviously sort out, brains, like horses, calms you down, that type of thing. It's neurologically fucking known. Mm-hmm. So the idea was, and this was working with guys, with missing limbs and whatever else, or guys like myself with PTSD and all these other things that are going on, and taking them out to these big manor houses, doing all the gardens and everything else, save councils money, save all this sort of thing. Got it all, you go on and look at the website, it's called Garden Troops. And I did all that. And I went and sat down to get funding, and they turned around and said no. And I was like, so you tell me then, what are you using that 160 odd fucking million in your bank for? You tell me why CFOs are sat on your fucking board.
So you
You
think?
tell I could sit there and rip them apart. See, the problem is I'm a learning machine.
Yeah.
Right. So whatever I've done in my life, I've wanted to learn at. So I used to work for clients that, like one of my guy that I work with, he's a big guy into banking. And when I first got to work with him, he was going through all this shit like fucking MC 690, MC 700, and I fucking hated it because I couldn't understand what the fuck he was talking about. So overnight, I went away and fucking learned international banking. And the next day, I was like, this. He was like, yeah. How did you learn that? I said, because I like to know what the fuck I'm talking
But that's
about.
your ADHD, mate. Because
Exactly.
I have ADHD as well. And as soon you don't understand something, what you do is you hyperfixate in that topic and then you know it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's cool.
That's it. But then you can take that. It's a superpower in that sense. You can understand a lot of things, you know. So yeah, I tried to do it and then went and sat in front of these people and they fucking basically turned it down. And I was like, you know what? You're not interested in solving the problem. You're interested in farming people, you fuckers. And that's what it is. If I give a soldier right now 162 million quid and go and sort out all the veterans in this fucking country, it'd be sorted.
Yeah, could be done. Could
Sorted.
Be done.
Like, let me just tell you some facts and figures for the ladies and gentlemen at home, just to let you know what charities do. So I think in a minute there's 2,500 charities that sit and claim to do something for veterans. They sit on a combined wealth of £3.1 billion, and yet there is still 10,000 homeless veterans, still 10,000 in jail, fucking 100,000 without jobs. So you tell me where that fucking 3.1 billion going, because I fucking lost 14 friends to suicide.
Yeah.
None of them were fucking helped at all. It's quite strange. This is the thing. Again, what we do as a government is we give it to a third party to take care of. Then there's no comebacks to us. You go to America and ask them what they've given for their veterans. It's like fucking $15 billion every year. What's our government give? Literally, go on the website now. We have a helpline.
Yeah. How was your process then to get out of that? Or how was your moment of change when you say, I don't want to still living in this way. I'm going to move into that one now, like a chill life.
The thing was, I didn't want to. The problem is with the army, it keeps you in there, doesn't it? Like the army keeps you sucking at daddy's titty, like the government keep you sucking at dad's titty because you need this all the time. They give you all these reasons to not get out. So then when you get out and be a bodyguard, you're still in that lifestyle, aren't you? You're still shooting stuff, wearing body armor, whatever else. And even though I transitioned from that, my marriage broke down and everything else. And then I went back to Syria, which was the last time I did close protection, hostile environment, because it like fucked me up as such. Like dead kids everywhere, fucking, you know, just people living in war zones. And it's one of the most upsetting things I've ever seen. Like I've been in some horrible places, but yeah, that definitely took the fucking piss. And after that, I went to be a PT in Dubai. I didn't want anything to do with security after that. I was
You
like,
went to be a PT?
Yeah, so I'm actually trained as a personal trainer as well. So my whole thing was, because my marriage had broke down here, and I thought to myself, well, if I'm going back to the security, it's easy for me to be in Dubai. And I was talking to a lot of people that had gone to Dubai, and I was chatting to a chick over there, and she was like, yeah, come over here, all that sort of thing. I ended up marrying the chick anyway. So I ended up being a PT. So as I was, because of Syria basically, I was like, no, I ain't doing this again. And I went to go and be a PT. Unfortunately, like I say, the lifestyle sticks to you like shit to a blanket, and I got dragged back into it later on.
It's like you can get out of
What were you
war.
doing in Dubai?
I originally started out to be a PT, like I say, and when I was working for the Qatar royal family, I met a gentleman who was very oddity like myself. I think that's what got us attracted to. He was a Muslim guy, and he was covered in tattoos, and it's not like now, we're going back a few years, so like I was like looking at an oddity, and he was like, you know, hand tats and everything else. And I was quite taken.
Was he white or?
No, he was Indian descent, Muslim religion. His dad was big in the game, financing certain bad entities around the world, so he was a rich man. And this guy got into Bitcoin really, really early, and it dropped. He became a billionaire overnight, pretty much. Does a lot of charity work, you know, all that sort of thing. So anyway, I'm in a gym teaching some guy how to fucking bench press, and this guy taps me on the shoulder. I turns around, what?
You knock him down the same way.
No, I was just like, and he looked at me, he was like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, he's known me as a security guard, and obviously last time he saw me, I was protecting people. I was doing PT. And he was like, why? Type thing, do you know what I mean? Anyway, long story short, he was doing Bitcoin deals. Now, for those who don't know, in certain parts of the world, Bitcoin is not illegal to deal in that way, but obviously we like tax in countries, don't we? And if you go to certain countries, you get away with said tax, as long as you pay the right people that are allowed to operate and all that sort of thing. So this man was doing deals in Dubai, and he was always selling at minus on Bitcoin. God knows how much Bitcoin he had. I know he bought a £12 million house in London with just Bitcoin. I think it cost about £4 or something like that, or something. The way it worked out, he was telling me, because when he got into it, it was worth fuck all. And obviously then it dropped and it became something. So what he actually paid for the house was stupid. It was like fucking £400 or something like that. Something silly. Anyway, so he was always doing these deals with Russians and buying at minus. And he was like, look, I'm dealing with some fucking rough cats at the minute and stuff like that. I don't always trust them. Could do with somebody to watch my back. And there you go, you see. The fucking life that you want to get out of suddenly drags you back in.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, this guy's a billion fucking air as well. So he's taking you to all these places, you know, you've been to Dubai a fair bit, mate. I think you've been all Billionaires Lounge, all that shit, all the fucking atmosphere and all them fucking nice places, Zumba. So you go into these fucking places where dinner costs like $5,000, you know, that sort of thing. And he's treating you like a fucking king. So you're drinking it all in, you're like, oh, this is all nice, isn't it? And this is where my ego gets away with me. For the first time in my life, I've never had an ego because I've had good mates that have always knocked the fucker out of me if I need be. But this is where my ego gets, I'm on my own, right? So I'm now with this guy and I'm fucking rolling around in Rolls Royces and I'm fucking buying Rolex watches and and my ego's drinking all this in. And I see it now, I see the fucking slip. So anyway, we do a few deals, get paid handsome, and literally, and this is no shit, we were basically renting out like a suite or a conference room of a hotel. I won't say hotels because we'll get fucking sued again. But there's certain hotels in Dubai which are like the fucking den of iniquity, right? It's where all the bad people go. There's a few of them all over the place. Somebody will know what I'm talking about. Anyone in that world. Ends with beach. Anyway.
Ocean.
Yeah, that's the one. But these places are like the den of iniquity. So you go and rent the conference out and these fuckers would turn up with like, I'm not kidding you, suitcases like that full of fucking cash, right? And I'd have 4 money counters running. And count it all. And he'd have a digital wallet. You know what a digital wallet is with the crypto and that? So he'd just be like selling it -5 or something, -4, whatever he wants to make money. Because it was basically like a cash machine to him. He had all this money in Bitcoin, but you know, probably not a lot of hang around cash. So it was use it to get the cash. And then what you'd do is zip it all up, chuck it in the back of a Range Rover and take it away. He'd go, did it, and transfer it. And that was them with their money. And that's what I did for a few deals. How that went south was this. So one day he rings me and there's a guy, Russian guy, let's call him Demetrius. It kept ringing him a few times for arranging this deal, changing the place, changing this. And I was like, I don't like that. I said, mate, if you're a businessman, it only takes a fucking coffee shop or anything else to talk about your business. It doesn't take, I need to go here, do this at this time. Headaches and all this. I said, look, do it down in this hotel where I know there's 360 eyes on you, and then we'll go from there. I'll be at the bar. You don't know me. You've obviously already arrived. I'll follow this guy back to his hotel.
Yeah.
100%. Does the negotiating, whatever else. This guy walks off. I'm not feeling this guy like a businessman at all. I walk straight up with him, and it's down on the JBR, down at the bottom of Dubai. And you walk up, basically, there's these stairs that you walk up, and there's hotels behind that. So I follow him up the stairs. I'm just some loud tourist on my phone, vest on. All right, mate, yeah, fucking Dubai's great, mate, no problems. I'm fucking stood 3 foot behind him. All right. He fucking walks off to his thing. I just sit down on the wall, get my fags out. Yeah, mate, fucking, you want to get out? The chicks are amazing, fucking brilliant. Look over, he makes a beeline for 4 guys that make me look fucking small. Big beards. I'm like, no, mate. I know fucking operators when I see one. I'm like, this ain't happening. So I walked back down the fucking road and I said, sacking that, mate. You know why? I said, these just fucking, mate, they're either going to kidnap you or fucking kill you. I said, that's as simple as that. They know who you are, 100%. Lo and behold, about 2 months later, probably the same crew ripped off some guys in Sharjah just up the road. So, yeah, that man left Dubai after that. Still remains in contact. He got a place out in Bali that I'm hopefully going to go out to with my kids at Christmas. But, yeah, he's a good guy. I got to work with him. And he was one of them guys, mate, always paid it back. So in Dubai, you've seen, like, guys sweeping the streets and it's all fucking, like, pump service and shit like that. And you roll around in fucking Range Rovers, you know what I mean? These people don't earn enough to fucking feed the family. This guy would give, like, fucking, for pumping his gas, would literally give him, like, a month's earnings. Bang, there you go, mate. Call a guy out from fucking sweeping the street. Bang, there you go. So he made me do one thing. Now, I've got a love for all cultures, an affinity for all cultures. I'm fucking, it's not a racist fucking bone in my body. I love all chicks. I love to fucking have sex with all chicks. So the thing is, the idea I could be racist is a fucking mad one. But he made me promise to do something, and I would fucking hold it dear. If anyone asked me to do shit like that, I'd do it. And what he used to do is every Friday, he used to drive down to mosque, and he'd lay out like food and drinks when people come out from prayer, right? Obviously, me and this guy are all covered in tats getting out at the mosque to put all this shit. Everyone's like, the fuck are these guys? Do you know what I mean? And he went, will you do me something, mate? I went, do you a favour? Yeah, what? He went, will you carry this on when I leave? Well, yeah, so I'll send you the money. You don't fucking send me the money, mate. You looked after me enough. And I did. Every fucking Friday until I fucking left that place, I drove down there and I did it. Because that guy looked after me and he always paid it forward. Do you know what I mean? That's it. And I then began to sort of work with, I did for a bit, work for a couple of people that did a lot of like sort of charity work and stuff like that. And unfortunately, again, the fucking money and the ego get involved and then you go back to doing the dirty shit.
What would you say is the most intense moment that you've had in your entire life?
There's been a few. You can sort of differentiate a lot of that. So you can have intense moments as a child, or like being dragged into a shed and raped, ain't fucking very nice. And then losing friends or being at the edge of death or close to death isn't very nice. But being on your own, knowing that there's no backup, it's you. And when you play in the sort of realms that me and some of my friends do, that you have to do things on your own, which means you go to countries that if you fucking disappear over there, no one's ever going to know where you were or what you were doing or any of that sort of shit. And it's part of the fucking price you pay. So I was working for somebody, again, I really can't mention any names here, but I was moving something, a certain set of cargo from one country to another. And the thing that I was doing is a legal thing. Unfortunately, there was illegal things on the thing that I was doing to make it illegal. And instead of being greeted with cigarettes and handshakes, I was greeted with AK-47 barrels. Yeah. And I knew this was going to go very wrong very quickly. Fortunately for me is that I had loads of friends around that area. This was Africa. So I was then quickly escorted to an African prison where I spent a month across from a cell with about 35 guys in it. That at the minimum would have fucking tore me apart, given me 8. Fortunately for me, again, I'm a problem-solving machine. So as I was getting nicked, I had a friend there, we'll call him Tony. And I told him as quickly as possible to get me a care package sent to said prison. So as literally I was arriving, a box of good shit was arriving as well. So fags, coke, sweets, all that good shit, magazines, everything else. So as soon as I walked in, I was giving people shit. Right? Straight into private cell. Thanks very much, mate. Because they know I'm a white guy. I've got fucking money. Right? That's the thing about Africa. Wherever you go, you're a fucking cash machine. Understand that? I was saying, my mate's about doing business over there at the minute. He's another good guy. It's loads of money. And he thinks he's found the cure to famine. And I said, if you have, it's going to take you 10 years to sort that out because everyone is going to fucking want a piece of that, mate. So prepare for it. And he's going through so much fucking shit. He wants to do good for the world. It's going to make money, but he's going to fucking kill the world of famine. But everyone's going to go out. So anyway, give all these fags, everything else. And yeah, I spent 30 days at the hands of someone very, very powerful in the world. And he now owes me a fucking large favour. So yeah, it was pretty intense because any one time somebody could have opened that fucking cell and that would have been gone. No one knew where I was or anything else. But I can say it's probably one of 10 stories. Like running through fucking jungles, mate, with people chasing you ain't non-intense. The thing is the problem is it wasn't the intense shit because you've got ADHD. It's always been my way. I've always put my life on the line. Even when I was fucking a kid, jumping out of shit that people wouldn't do or anything else. It's never that registers or it's the problem for me. It's the fucking normality. It's the normalcy. It's the nothing. That's how I got into this sort of thing because the normalcy nearly fucking killed me quicker than anything else. I went through 2 really bad years of my life when I first come back here. Like the first year wasn't bad because I literally came back here with just money in the bank and nothing else. I didn't exist in this country for 10 years on paper. Because everything was off fucking shore. When you're obviously working out the country, you keep all the fucking things like everyone else does, government, if you're listening to me. I know you all fucking do it as well. So you keep everything off things. So you don't exist. So I've been out of this country and now suddenly I've got to be back day 1, week 1 with 2 kids, no house, no fuck all else, no nothing. And you're like, right. All I had was money. So I Airbnb'd and beat it for about fucking 9 months, which was cheap.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
What would you say is like your biggest regret?
Thinking that money was worth anything. It's not. It's a fucking fallacy. It's a story that you get told. We get caught into this thing because you want the fucking Range Rover on your driveway. You don't realise that most people are in fucking debt up to their eyeballs for it.
And if you could change one thing that you've done in your life, what would you change?
Fucking hell. I'd have been a farmer.
Farmer?
So you will quit everything that you happen to you and you stick to being a farmer regardless.
Yeah.
It will literally scrap everything.
Yeah. scientifically or psychologically, farmers are the happiest people on earth.
Yeah.
All you're doing is growing shit.
Yeah. You're creating stuff.
And you see, that's the point I was about to make. When you're a guy that's surrounded his fucking whole life with death and fucking shit and death of kids and fucking travesties and little girls that have been raped and fucking horrible fucking shit that men do to each other.
Yeah.
You only want to create. You only want to build. You only want to help people out. Because you see that, I use it for me as like a thing. I was always good at training people. You know, again, you take a guy, right, you take a guy that's not really had any direction in his life, right, in the military especially, and you see he runs faster than everyone else or anything like that. You pull him aside and you go, mate, you keep fucking doing what you're doing. You watch how that affects him. He's got a guy in front of him that he respects, you know, because we all look for role models all of our lives. All men do. Until you fucking day you die, you look for role models. Like, there's a thing I listened to the other day. They were saying that American football players don't respect anyone, you know, because they're fucking huge. But you put an SF guy in front of them, for some reason, they change. You know, I don't know why that is, because obviously that guy, I know, plays with his life. I don't know what it is.
Well, it's just like who's more alpha out of those two.
But that's bullshit. You see, the thing is, that's something that, you know, gets me with this whole society and the way we live now, toxic masculinity bullshit and everything else, and this alpha talk and everything else. Now, I definitely had a different idea what an alpha was when I was younger. I thought it was what I am sitting here now, or the fucking cliche of what I look like sitting here now, because it's become a cliche. You know, the beard, the tats, the fucking muscles and all that good shit. Again, ain't that fucker. But that's not an alpha. An alpha is someone that is strong enough to pick people up, to shoulder the burden when they can't. Because that's what we all should do. Every man is capable of being alpha, whether you kick fucking doors down or you work in a bank. Like, it's not about that. If you see, like, you can show me a fucking guy that, I don't know, sews all day. If I look at his kids and he's raising them fuckers on his own and then they're perfect children, you know, they're fucking doing A-levels and all this sort of shit, I don't give a fuck what he does. You're more alpha than half the people I know, mate. Because we all gauge things. And like years ago, yeah, 100%. If I was swinging a battle axe in a fucking field 200 years ago, yeah, I'd have fitted right in. Ain't that society now, is it? You know, and again, these people that glorify violence and fucking, you know, killing and all that good shit, same people that want to go to war, make sure you've exhausted every fucking option first, because it's people like me that go out there and then have to come back. And you think it just affects me, it fucking doesn't. It affects your children and your fucking granddad and dad and whoever the fuck else it affects. You know, and that's the problem. We all want war, we all fucking glorify violence and that. And the problem is, half the people have never been fucking near it. And the people that have, the ones that fucking push back so hard against it. All the hippies now are fucking ex-veterans. All the marijuana fucking culture in America that started off, that was all guys from Vietnam.
Yeah.
They've gone over there and fucking just drilled people all day long. And they're like, for what? Same as now. What was Afghanistan for? Tell me. I've got literal friends that live in Afghanistan, like Afghan people. Because obviously when you work for embassies and stuff like that as an individual, you go to restaurants and you meet normal people that own businesses. They're all fucking dead because we just left.
Yeah.
Like we always do.
Yeah, Biden fucked that up.
It wasn't just like, what people don't understand, and again, for people out there listening, I don't have an opinion on brain surgery. Because I don't have to fucking do it.
Yeah.
What I do know how to do is go to other countries and commit war and everything else like that and look after people that do all this shit. So that's the only reason I have an opinion on this shit. I know that all war is about now is how much money can we make from that place. Because you can see China's influence around the world if you travel.
Yeah.
You go to Africa, it's like little fucking China. They don't shoot anyone. You tell me the last fucking place that China invaded. Google it, I'll wait. And the places we invaded in the last fucking 6 years. How many places we liberated? Let me give you a few. Afghan, Iraq, Syria, fucking Libya. All failed states, slave auctions in the streets. Everyone's fucking killing each other. And then we wonder why that the whole rest of that side of the world gets up and fucking moves over here. Well, because you've just fucked that side of the world up, you daft bastard.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
mate.
what would you
Yeah.
do if you couldn't feed your fucking kids? Oh, I'll just sit here and starve and die. No, I'm a fucking man. I need to feed my family like I just did and went across there and shot people and everything else. They're going to do the same fucking thing. They're going to come to your country that you fucked it up. And that's the fucking problem. And then we just blame those people. Well, if I come to your country and blow the fucker up, what would you do? You get up and fucking leave. You're okay taking loads of Ukrainians in here and giving it all that shit. Where was the Dr. fucking Arab, Dr. Muslim, Dr. anybody, Dr. Iraqi, Dr. fucking, where was all that shit?
Yeah.
Why are we taking in so many Ukrainians? I don't understand.
Yeah, mate, fucking bad. Because you want to go the fucking honest route, mate. It's because quintessentially, mate, this fucking country's racist as fuck.
Yeah, I agree with that, mate.
Well, let's talk about history. Let's go down the history route, right? My little girl comes to me the other day and she went, "Oh, we're doing history, Dad." I said, "What did you learn?" She went, "Oh, we learned about World War II and Hitler and the Romans and everything else." I said, "Did you learn about English occupation of Africa, India, how the fact that we fucking addicted a whole continent to fucking heroin just so we could make money? Did you learn any of that?"
Yeah.
No. What you learned was falsified history. Because when you're taught falsified history, you're always the fucking victors. I've been all over this world again, and you'll meet people go, "Britain's always his own arse." Yeah, because we think we're the best. Why? Because we've been told we're the best. Because throughout fucking history, you weren't told that we fucking made slaves out of so many people and fucked up so many countries and kept it that way so we could always go back later on and unfuck it and get the oil.
Yeah. Every country has her tale to tell.
Well, I can prove it to you now. I think you can look, if you want, just fact check this. The biggest landowner still in this world, and it baffles me, I've asked economic fucking master's degree people this and everything, and no one can fucking tell me why. The biggest landowner still today in this world, I'm sure, is the King of England, followed closely by the Catholic Church. I'm not talking a little way, I'm talking fucking billions of acres. So that means you own other countries, right?
Yeah.
So how do you take over other countries? You walk in and go, "Can I borrow your country?"
With violence.
Take them with fucking weapons and kill people. So we claim not to like slavery in at the minute. Well, if you own a fucking country, are those people not your slaves? Crazy,
We
innit?
own like 70 or 80% of the world, didn't we, at one point?
Yeah,
Still do
kind
now.
of.
Not fine. We still own Canada and Australia.
Yeah.
Crazy though, isn't it?
So yeah, that's mental. But so all this is crazy, and it's a great insight. But how did you go from all of this into being a dominatrix?
Now we come to the crux of the matter. Right, it started with a lady I was seeing. She was doing the old feet thing, selling the feet, getting paid and all that good stuff. And then the guy started to ask if like we do trampoline sessions and all this, right? And she's only a little skinny thing, right? She started doing it in hotels and stuff like that.
Trampoline?
No, trampoline. So like standing on.
Stamping.
Trampoline.
Yeah, like
What?
standing. Oh, right, yeah. So I'll get into all this sort of weird shit.
It's stamping into people.
Yeah, so guys pay very...
You're shocked at that? After?
I know, yeah.
I am very
you
shocked,
talk about
mate.
it.
This whole talk we've had about people getting shot and killed.
Yeah,
You didn't
but
react like that.
Him
for
getting
none of
arrested
that.
in Africa.
I have seen that everywhere.
You see what I mean?
I haven't been
See what I mean?
in that
You say,
side of
"I kill
porn.
people,
yet,
people don't
man.
bat a fucking eye
Let's
at that.
jump on
You say, like, I
someone
stick
else.
someone up somebody's arse, they go fucking up. They're like, "What? You do what?" Like, what? No, I used to shoot people in the face in other countries. But you stick things up people's arses. Yeah.
But mate, like this is literally propaganda, normalizing. Like you have John
exactly.
Wick movies, like
Yeah, yeah,
super
of course,
violent.
of course.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
But you like a finger in your ass. This is wrong. This is wrong, mate.
Because I think it's a freedom thing, isn't it? That's what sex is. Anything they can't control.
Yeah.
And we make it dirty so you can control it. That's what I think. It's like everything. It's like free will, isn't it? It's like the only two oldest jobs in the world are prostitute and mercenary, because that's only really what they can't control. It's up to me if I want to go and kill somebody. It's up to you if you want to fuck somebody. You see what I'm saying? It's not, they really can't get in the middle of that.
Is it guys or girls you dominate?
Everyone.
Okay.
And this is going to piss a lot of people off, and I'm fucking open to a bit of debating on this. So I don't see how you can call yourself a master properly or a dom if you don't dominate guys, because that just says to me you're dominating someone weaker than you.
Kind of
I've
makes
had a
sense.
guy that's fucking 6'8", and if he wanted to, he could tear my fucking head off. And I was whipping him, and I thought, I hope you don't fucking get too pissed off, because he's going to fucking clean me out. Like, literally could fucking hurt me, make me look like a fucking pretzel. Do you know what I mean? But no, you got to fucking, the whole point of it is, again, it's the dominance thing, isn't it? I've always been a dominant person. No, again, fucking shoot me, kill me, that's fine. But I'll be dominant till the end. That's the whole point. That's just the person that I am.
So how did you get into it?
Sorry, going back to the point, yeah. She started doing feet stuff and then basically went to work at a studio, which is an alternative shooting studio, basically a fetish studio. It's different rooms, like you've seen stuff on my Instagram, stuff like that. Like prison cells and all that good stuff. Anyway, I went down there, and the lady who was proprietor of it, Miss Vivian Lamore, I'm sure she won't mind shouting her out. Please check her out. She's a beautiful lady. Give her a short shot. And she went,
I think my mate Callum Roberts told me about her. I recognise her name.
yeah, she's very sort of the quintessential sort of dom, very well spoken and sort of that sort of thing. Yeah. And there's different types of doms, isn't there? There's like they're just fucking with the arse type doms, or there's the ones that fuck with your head, and I like the real ones that fuck with your head. And she's just sort of same milk. So she went, "Do you fancy getting into this or what? Like, you've got the fucking look." And I went, yes, but I've got fucking complex PTSD as well. And the last thing I need is fucking having somebody chained up and me thinking back in fucking Iraq and stick him in the fucking heart with a knife or something. Do you know what I mean? Or just losing control.
Yeah.
I'll just take a while.
There's a massive risk there.
Yeah,
Fuck.
Well,
very
that's it.
risky, mate.
But again, I'm all about fucking, pushing myself to comfort zone and all that good stuff. So it took a while. And how it came about was I'm on Fab Swingers. If you know the site website.
Yeah,
I've been on there for fucking ages, like for fucking over a decade. Like my first wife and me swang and all that good stuff. So like fucking back and forth. And this guy texted me one day and said, "Do you do full impact play?" I said, "I ain't got a fucking clue what that is." And he says, "Hit me." I went, "No, I'm not really into all that sort of shit, mate. Like I don't sort of fuck around with guys and stuff." He went, "I'll pay you." I just went, 150 quid. He went, "Yeah, no problems."
You did it for 150, bro. You could have got so much more
Mate,
than 150.
but I didn't know what to fucking put. I've never done any of this shit before, right? So I was like that.
Yeah.
I've fucked with couples and stuff. I did that in Dubai. Like that's the craziest thing that I missed out. Like doing that sort of work and stuff like that. You get put in places with like rich people, and your muscles and tattoo. And I was fucking juiced out my nut back in Dubai as well. Like I was fucking huge, like a biker, big beard, fucking massive, all that sort of thing. So women take a shine, especially sort of people from that side of the world. They've got a thing for.
Not used to having a rough.
Yeah, so basically their husbands would pay and you'd fuck them type thing. So I wasn't any way, shape or form about doing any of that sort of shit. Anyway, this guy says 150 quid. I drove up the road.
Drove up the road.
Fucking stopped outside his house. And basically he said, right, the 150's on the side. I'll be in the living room. Do your thing. And then you can leave. I was like, yeah.
Say like what level?
Well, I said to him, mate, you need to be careful here. I did a bit of boxing in the military and stuff like that. I can fucking throw hands a little bit. He was like, the last guy broke 2 ribs. I was like, fucking sound on, mate. I said, sound on. So it's fullish. And he was like, yeah, fullish.
What
So-
the fuck?
Yeah. So I walks in and he fucking horrible fucking hallway that he had. It was orange fucking hallway. I was like, what the fuck is this? Anyway, little table on the side, picked up this thing, obviously, no fucking sense, no feeling, whatever. Walked into his front room. He was there, stark bollock naked, like fat guy, like small dick and everything else. Hands on his head. I just went, "You ready?" He went, "Ready." I went, bang, 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 and knocked him out and walked out the house. I was in that house for 1 minute and 36 seconds and I earned £150 for doing it. And I was like, I'm doing this for the rest of my fucking life.
£1 for a second, more or less.
So that was it. That was how I sort of started off. And then after that, I was like, yeah, I can do this. Fuck it. So, yeah, I think the first one was a bit, not nerve wracking. It was just not more for me, more for just like, am I going to fucking freak out here or what? Because I'm in a fucking prison cell and like guys fucking masked up and I'm getting them fucking. It's like Tyson again. Like if you read Tyson's book and that, it will tell you he couldn't walk by a fucking punch bag without getting the fucking thing to go and fight again. Like he couldn't lift weights or anything because it'd ignite that fucking thing in him. Well, that's the same as you. Like I get like fucking certain times of the day because that's when you used to get up and go out and work. You know? That's when you used to get fucking your kit on. And that's in you as a person. So yeah, after that it was fucking smooth sailing. I love it. I've been banned off OnlyFans. I'm a bit too brutal for them. I do it all. I fucking do it all.
A bit too brutal for them.
Yeah, I think I put a fucking. I don't think I meant to upload something that was a bag over someone's head or something like that, and they fucking kicked me off, banned me for life. They're like, no, it's not coming back,
man.
mate. So yeah, but yeah, I do all the sort of hardcore shit that people don't want to do and stuff like that. Dominate guys. Guys like, do you fuck guys? Well, I dominate guys, if that's what you want to call it.
So you fuck guys?
Yeah, I fuck a guy, not a problem. Look, and this is where dissociated disorder comes in. I don't find
disassociate from.
Yeah,
I understand.
Yeah, exactly. So
How
it's the same as killing someone. Like you just remove yourself.
you
Viagra, mate.
Okay.
There's chemicals nowadays, mate. I'm chemically up every way. Mushrooms and fucking Viagra and marijuana. And yeah, the chemicals work if you know how to use them right. Not too much, not too little, just right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they work. So you can keep yourself very fucking aroused if you need to.
Damn.
So tell us about your book what stage are you in and what it's going to be about?
Yep, so it's called The Tyranny of Evil Men. And again, it's a happenstance sort of way it happened. So for years, people were telling me about writing a book because I talk to people a lot, again, all over the world. And when I got a phone call, basically I got a phone call, to run back a bit of story, I got a phone call one night, it was a Thursday night, and it was my kids crying down the phone. And they said, Dad, we need you home. And basically what happened is my ex-wife had become an alcoholic over 4 years. We knew she was. She got with a guy and they basically ended up fucking the kids up for 4 years, kept her behind closed doors, all that good stuff. But it's not one night. And that's the night my life changed. So I flew home that night. I've still got clothes in Dubai, a car in Dubai, a bank account in Dubai. And I ended up coming back to England. And taking custody of my kids, which they've not left my side now for 4 years, over 4 years. But in doing so, I had no home. I had no nothing. I'd not been in this country for 10 years on paper. So I Airbnb'd it for like fucking 9 months. And in one of doing so, the first place we went was not far from my ex-wife, and she was an alcoholic. So she turned up at fucking 3 o'clock in the morning, smashing shit and everything else. And at this point, I just wanted to put her in the fucking ground, I'll be honest with you. But obviously I couldn't do that because it's the fucking mother of my kids. So we moved out into a small place outside of seaside town. It was in the middle of the woods, fucking beautiful place. And the guy who owned it, we'll call him Jeff, he had a little cottage on it. That's the thing. I rented 2-bedroom cottage because it was cheaper. So I slept on a settee and they slept upstairs. But every day me and Jeff would talk. You know, he'd sit there. It was nice days. That's why I'd help him out. We're doing some firewood and all that good stuff. Because the kids are at school, obviously I had fuck all else to do, apart from trying to sort houses out and everything else. And it was like, tell me about your life. So obviously we progressed to like days and weeks of what I've been telling you, stories upon stories. And he was like, you've got a fucking book there, mate. Yeah. I was like, you ain't the first one to say that, mate. He was like, no, but I'm the only one to have 26 years in the publishing industry. So this guy had literally been a publisher in London and then sold, because he wasn't ever going to get the house he wanted. He sold that and then gone and opened up this restaurant outside in this fucking thing. So he says, when you're ready, let me know and we'll sort it out for you. I'll make sure you don't get fucked about. And that's literally how it happened. I wasn't ever going to write it. It was just him. And then basically I got back, and again, fucking life took its thing. And then out of the blue, he just messaged me and went, how far are you getting with that book? And I was like, that was always my thing, to stay on track, stay on course. But unfortunately, again, with security work and everything else, and just raising 2 fucking kids at the minute in the fucking world that we live in and trying to keep your fucking head right, it slips. Do you know what I mean? So it does, but it should have been finished next month. That's another 6 months in extension. So probably middle of next year now I'm looking at with a bit of luck. Again, Tyranny of Evil Men. Please look out for it. It will be a fucking good read. I can't be here when I fucking release it because I can guarantee it's going to shake a few fucking nests.
Do you have a goal? Have a goal with this, to learn something or change something with this, or like just make extra money? What is your aim with this book?
Yeah. I'll out a lot of fucking things that people don't know about government, corporations and everything else like that. And look, then I leave and I go back to where I'm leaving to. Again, I won't say it on here. Yeah. But whenever you step on my fucking land, you want to be waving a white flag because that's my land. Right? Leave me the fuck alone. Right? And that's all I want from the rest of the world. People deserve to know what goes on in my job, 100%. And we're all fed this fucking like keep it secret and everything else. Well, that allows then people to do things behind the fucking doors, boys and girls. And these people have been doing it for you for years. For years. They lie to you every fucking day. And they have people like me go and do their fucking dirty work around the fucking world. And then when we come back and we lose our fucking minds because we've done it, we suicide ourselves, or we talk like this, and then they go, you're a conspiracy theorist, you're a terrorist, you've been fucking brainwashed, da-da-da, da-da-da. It's like Russell Brand at the minute. No, that fucking man has been a fucking cad for how many years? Fucked how many women? Was praised for it. Have a fucking cock this size, and he was doing this and doing that. They wait 11 fucking years for that man to be on his 3rd child to come out and say all this shit. And you can't prove what these women are and everything else. Like, look, I know people are bad people. I fucking work for them. But understand, there's a fucking system, and no one likes to be told about that system because ultimately you're being told that you're being fucking lied to, and you're all believing that fucking lie.
We were part of it, yeah.
Well, that's it, isn't it? That's literally it. Like I said, it's power to the fucking people. If you don't understand, like, fucking perfect point in case just happened. Budweiser. Right? Put Dylan Mulvaney on a can. Again, I don't care about you trans. Everyone should be fucking free to do what they want to be. If you want to run around, set yourself on fire and stick razor blades in your eyes, fucking crack on. As long as you're not hurting anyone else, I don't give a fuck. Like, I couldn't give a fuck.
You know your target demographic though, really.
But
right?
With that, mate, they literally fucking bankrupted a company nearly overnight. Like, that's the power of the people. They sent Bud Light from being like a staple of the fucking economy in fucking America to fucking like nearly bankrupt. That's power of the people.
Yeah.
You stop buying something.
There's a great thing. There defo has been like a reverse in this whole woke movement. Like all the companies used to be super woke, but now I don't think it's like that anymore.
You know who is the real evil? The real evil in the world is marketing, mate. Yeah. Marketing makes everything looks appealing, regardless what it is, using the aim to get more money. And then you get these corporation companies that don't share the beliefs that they do, only jumping into trends that they think they're going to bring in way more profit.
The real evil in the world is people. Like, it's never the thing, is it?
Oh, yeah,
it's the people. Like, you can do drugs, right? Go out, have a good time. Couple lines Charlie with your mates. That's it. Or you get the fucking ones that rail all fucking night, don't have any sleep, go out and stab 4 people the next day. right? Anything, though, innit? You can have a Range Rover, right? You can drive that Range Rover at normal speed. Or you can drive at fucking 135 miles an hour and crash into a fucking wall. It's always the people. Yep. Guns, you can go out and shoot nicely, fucking shoot targets, everything else. Or you can shoot each other. It's never the thing, it's the fucking people. Hammer, you can hit the fucking wall or bang yourself on the fucking head with it. It's simple as that's what it is. So it's never marketing, it's never them things, it's the people. And the thing is, it's when you attach a dollar, a value. That's what it is. The minute you make something valuable, be it your data, be it your life, be it someone's going to come along and take fucking advantage of that. You see what I'm saying? Like your life is valuable. If you've done the wrong things, as we all know what contract is, well, someone comes along and pays me, and I go and fulfill that contract.
Yeah. You say something at the beginning that I feel is extremely valuable, and I think it's very important that you say it as well, was the environment around.
Oh.
I think the father figure at home with someone to follow, giving you good values is what really will change that and make you get a proper education at home instead of like, because now we have this wave of feminism or you single mothers that they can do whatever they want. I don't see that be so successful, to be honest.
I feel like environmental based isn't based off having a father figure, because environmental impacts the father and the lifestyle. So it is difficult, but we do need to wrap it up.
Sorry, yeah.
So we've learnt a lot. I hope the viewers at home enjoyed this one. It was a whole different ball game. And
thanks for having me, lads. Like again, I'll talk all day if you let me. So
I feel like you've probably left a few jaws swinging there.
Well, I hope so. Like I say, I can only talk about my experiences, and again, I'm sorry that I sometimes judge the world through my eyes. I get that people only live their lives through their experiences. Again, I've said a lot of them, and I've just made it my point to. And with that, hopefully that sort of brings some knowledge or, I don't know, fucking insight to what the world's really like. Again, I've been at the tip of the spear for all these cunts, and all they want to do is make money. That's what we'll leave you with.
True.
Don't fucking feed into it. Don't feed into it.
Right. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Do everything there, or I'm going to send him to your door. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you for having us. I really appreciate it.
I look forward to seeing you in the next one.
Cheers.
Thank you.